I deliberately got a perfect score on the Gaokao, just to stay a little farther away from the two childhood sweethearts. After I walked out of the exam room, they reminded me not to forget to put Nyan University down as my first choice. I casually agreed. Then I turned around and put Jing University, thousands of kilometers from home, on my application. The phone I had set aside suddenly rang. I picked it up. It was Xingmian, the two childhood sweethearts I was meant to protect for life. The two childhood sweethearts I was supposed to protect for life. There was a new message in the group chat. It was clearly a group chat meant for 3 people, but now there were 4 people in it. Then Jingnian sent a message in the chat. Heh, I checked my exam results. I will definitely get into Hua University. I'm so happy. I can keep being classmates with everyone after this. Please take good care of me. Although he said that, the names he tagged afterward were only Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu. Sumeng Yao replied instantly, if you need me, I'll always be there for you right away. Qin Heiyu followed up, me too. On the first day of school, the whole school will know this young lady has your back. Then they kept excitedly discussing in the group chat, wanting to throw Song Jingnian a banquet to celebrate his good results. From beginning to end, I never said a single word, and no one ever paid any attention to me. The glaring group chat name on my phone screen now felt like it was mocking me. Sumeng Yao, Qin Heiyu, and I grew up together. When the 3 of us had only just met, the 2 of them were already clinging to me and refusing to let me go. They wished they could be with me every single day. On my 17th birthday, both of them confessed to me. I couldn't choose, and I didn't want to start dating this early. Just as I was about to force myself to refuse, they immediately seized my hand and stopped me from saying anything that sounded like a rejection. They even begged me to give them some time to think it over. They wanted my answer on the first day of college. I didn't want to hurt anyone, so I could only agree for the time being. I thought I would figure out my feelings during that time, until Song Jingnian appeared. Song Jingnian was one of the underprivileged students my family sponsored. Because his grades were good, he was able to transfer to my high school. Using the excuse of thanking me, he drew closer to me step by step. At first, I felt sorry for him, so I often looked after him. He said he couldn't afford meals, so I often used my meal card to buy him lunch. He said he couldn't keep up with the lessons, so I sacrificed my own time to help him with problems. He said he had no friends, so I introduced him to Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu. But I never expected that in just 3 months, Song Jingnian had carefully taken my place, one step at a time. When I saw that line about all 4 of them going to Hua University, I let out a cold laugh and put down the phone. Then I started clearing out everything in the house related to Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu. Before I knew it, I had filled the whole box with them. When I carried the box downstairs to throw it into the trash, I ran straight into Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu, who had just come back from the banquet. They almost instantly spotted from the trash can the 2 bridal veils. When we were little, and they dragged me into playing house, both of them fought to be my bride. They nearly came to blows. In the end, I had no choice but to keep both veils. Only then did they stop being so tense and hostile. But they still said that later, when it came time to get married, the other person's veil had to be thrown away. Back then, I only blinked and asked, "How do you know I'll definitely marry one of you when I grow up?" The 2 of them exploded at once, saying I had to choose between them. Now, seeing me throw it away. What's more, I had thrown away everything related to them. I had actually thrown away everything. The 2 of them rushed over at once. Qin Heiyu gripped my hand tightly. "Why did you throw away the things we gave you? Are you still angry about what happened just now? It's true. We gave Jingnian your front door code. But aren't you friends? We thought it wouldn't matter if we told him. Even if he took your things. We even transferred him the money. Didn't you take the money?" Sumeng Yao was cool and restrained. Even now, her voice trembled. "Xingmian, it's only something this small. It's fine if you're angry. But why throw everything away? Do you really have to be this ruthless? So I'm the one going to far just for throwing away their things." And that made them lose their composure. Then if I told them that I had already changed my college applications behind their backs, just so I could leave them for good, wouldn't they go crazy? I said flatly, "I am not angry. It's just that these things have all gone moldy. Of course I should throw them away." Seeing how calm I was when I looked at them, the 2 of them said in unison, "Are you really not angry anymore?" I shook my head. No. After all, those 2 and I had nothing to do with each other anymore. What was there to be angry about? At that, both of them immediately sighed in relief. "Since it's moldy, Throwing it away was the right call. We can buy new ones later. I didn't say anything. I just gave a quiet Then I turned and left, completely indifferent. For the next few days, Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu never came looking for me. Through Song Jingnian's non-stop social post, I knew they had been helping Song Jingnian work through his graduation bucket list. The amusement park he'd never been to, the planetarium he was curious about, the Great Wall he had only ever seen in books. They accompanied Song Jingnian to experience them all. I looked through them one by one, and even felt like leaving alike. Until this day, I received my admission letter from Peking University. Just after I put the admission letter away, Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu knocked on my door together. Xingmian, our admission letters are here. Has yours arrived? Let's go get them together. I said with a faint expression. No need. Mine has already been delivered. After saying that, I was about to close the door. Xumeng Yao quickly stuck out a hand and stopped the door. Wait, I reserved a private room. How about we get dinner together and celebrate? No need. Aren't we having a class reunion in a few days? We can celebrate then. After saying that, I turned and shut the door. I left Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu frozen there, staring at each other. 3 days later was the class reunion that had already been arranged. As soon as I arrived, a lot of classmates curiously looked behind me. Then their eyes filled with disappointment. Xingmian, why didn't Qin, the campus beauty, and the top student come? Aren't they the kind who follow you wherever you go? Aren't they supposed to follow wherever you go? Yeah, I heard you all got into Hua University. On the first day of school, you have to choose between Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu. Have you decided who you're choosing? Before I could answer, a few classmates who always picked on me rushed to answer for me. Choose. Does Xingmian even have a chance to choose? Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu now like Song Jingnian more. Why are you still asking him that? Haven't you figured it out yet? The group burst into laughter. They thought I would get angry, but they didn't expect me to say a single word. I didn't even spare them a glance. The group was shut down, but they still kept mocking me. I stayed silent the whole time. Just then, the private room door opened. Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu came in, one on each side of Song Jingnian. The group hurried to look at me. Then they burst out laughing again. Now even the campus beauty and the top student don't like him anymore. I really do not know what else he has left to act all proud about. That is not swagger. He looks like a stray dog with nowhere to go. Ha 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 ha. Look at him. He looks like a dog. The class monitor wiped the sweat from his forehead. Then he quickly tried to save face. Since everyone is here, let's start the gathering. The crowd at the reunion was noisy and rowdy. Yet they were taking care of Song Jingnian in every possible considerate way. Still hung up on what happened last time. He did not even glance in my direction once. I sat in the corner, calmly eating fruit from the platter, my face completely indifferent. Halfway through, someone started shouting for truth or dare. I did not want to join, but I was forced into the game. After a few rounds, I lost. Come on, come on. It's Xingmian's turn to share a secret with everyone. A secret. I let out a faint laugh in my heart. My gaze swept over Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu. Then I said lightly, my secret is that on the first day of school, I'll throw away to things. No one caught the meaning hidden in my words. They looked a little bored. That hardly counts as a secret. Throwing something away is supposed to be a secret. Fine, this round barely counts as you getting away with it. Next time, you cannot be so perfunctory. I nodded, but I did not explain. But unfortunately, I lost again in the next round. At once, everyone in the private room started heckling me. Xingmian, we're not letting you off so easily this time. We will not let you off the hook. Let's make it harder. How about we ask Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu which one of them you'd choose as your girlfriend? As soon as that question was asked, everyone in the room craned their necks, waiting for the answer. Xumeng Yao nervously took several sips of water. Qin Heiyu was just as tense. Her fists were clenched tight. She never loosened them for a second. I glanced at them, a little surprised. For them, whose eyes were now full of Song Jingnian, to actually still be nervous about my answer. I let out a cold laugh. Both, I hadn't even finished speaking when Song Jingnian cried out. Song Jingnian cried out. Everyone turned to look. Song Jingnian had accidentally spilled wine all over himself. Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu's expressions changed slightly. They hurriedly pulled Song Jingnian's coat tight around him. One of them quickly cleared a path and went with him to change clothes. The game was forced to stop. With the center of attention gone, everyone else lost interest in continuing. Some people quietly muttered that they wanted to leave. The class monitor quickly called everyone over. Everyone, don't leave yet. The teacher also bought a lot of fireworks. Let's all go set them off by the river together. Let's celebrate the start of our new journey. Hearing that, the people who had just quietly said they wanted to leave fell silent. After waiting quite a while, Jingnian finally arrived with Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu. He was wearing a custom suit Sumeng Yao had bought for him. The shoes on his feet were also limited edition. They were priceless. They were a gift from Qin Heiyu. Everyone whispered to one another, all of them exclaiming in surprise and admiration. I only gave it a quick glance, then paid no more attention. The group headed off, lively and excited, to set off fireworks. Blooms of brilliant fireworks burst open against the dark sky. Almost everyone was silently making wishes. Only Jingnian shouted toward the water, hoping that Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu's wishes would all come true. At that, Sumeng Yao's usually cool, distant eyes finally softened. Qin Heiyu smiled warmly. She even reached out, unable to stay cold, and touched Jingnian's face. Why are you so silly? You should be making wishes for other people. Jingnian turned his head, smiling at the two of them. But to me, you are the most important people in my heart. Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu both gave helpless little laughs. They spoke at the same time. You are the most important person to me too. I only felt the air itself was saturated with a sweetness so cloying it made me sick. I did not want to stay near them any longer. So I turned and went to the corner. I stood there alone, quietly watching the fireworks. When Jingnian noticed, he immediately tugged Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu. Xingmian seems unhappy. He has not even set off any fireworks. Let's go cheer him up. Hearing that, Sumeng Yao's eyes darkened. Her feet seemed rooted to the ground. She did not move an inch. Qin Heiyu also turned her head away, not looking at me. She refused to move as well. Sigh. Since you clearly do not want to go, then I will go cheer him up myself. I will give him a surprise. With that, he smiled and picked up a bundle of fireworks. When he came up behind me, he lit them quietly. Then he casually threw them onto my head. With a bang, the fireworks exploded. Everyone turned to look. I was engulfed in flames from head to toe. Xingmian, Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu's hearts clenched. They ran over like mad women. When I woke again, all I saw was a field of blinding white. The sharp smell of disinfectant filled my nose. The moment I moved, pain shot through my whole body. The nurse changing my bandages hurriedly stopped me. Do not move. You have severe burns. Luckily, you were brought in time. You also had skin grafts. So, you will not be left with scars. Otherwise, such a beautiful face like yours would have been ruined for good. Thinking of what happened before I lost consciousness, I felt a wave of cold wash through my chest. I truly did not know how a person could be so vicious. I wanted to speak, but the pain all over my body left me with no strength. Then the nurse said again, at the time, the very beautiful girls brought you to the hospital. You were already unconscious when they brought you. You did not see how frantic they were. For as long as you were unconscious these past few days, they stayed by your side. They were only just persuaded to go rest. Do you want me to wake them? They will definitely be so happy to know you are awake. I quickly stopped her. No. I do not want to see Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu. The nurse nodded. Then she pushed the medication cart and left. But not long after, Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu, after hearing the news, still rushed over in a hurry. They both usually had a mild obsession with cleanliness, but now their eyes were bloodshot. Their clothes had not been changed for days. Their faces were full of heartache. The moment they saw me, their voices were trembling. Xingmian, are you okay? I am sorry. We did not protect you well enough. Before I could even speak, Sumeng Yao spoke again. She was holding a thick, handwritten apology letter. Xingmian, I know you are in a lot of pain. This time, Jingnian really was in the wrong, but he did not mean it. For however long you were unconscious these past few days, he has felt guilty for just as long. All he could think about was how to apologize to you. So please forgive him. Hearing that, my palms turned icy. I am the one who got hurt. He feels guilty. Do I have to take responsibility for that too? That is not what I mean. Jingnian just wants to apologize to you. He wants to apologize. He should feel the same pain I did. After saying that, I closed my eyes, not wanting to see their faces anymore. Qin Heiyu frowned. Her voice was as gentle as she could make it. Xingmian, Do not be so unforgiving. Jingnian really does feel terrible. Guilty. I laughed until tears came to my eyes. He feels so terrible. If you feel sorry for him, go see him. What are you doing staying in my hospital room? Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu exchanged a glance. They both sighed helplessly. They knew I would not listen to anything they said now. Qin Heiyu said helplessly, Xingmian, I found the best doctor in the city to treat you. You will not be left with scars. So, do not worry. Xumeng Yao chimed in as well. I left the Su family bodyguards here. If you want to eat anything or need anything, just tell them directly. We will come see you every day. After that, the two of them gave me a long look as I lay there with my eyes closed. Then they turned and left. After they left, I clenched my teeth, gasping in pain. Ever since I woke up, the anesthesia had worn off. My whole body felt like it was being sliced by knives. It was not until who knows how long later that my parents rushed over. Xingmian, does it hurt? The moment my parents spoke those words of concern, the tears I had been holding back finally spilled out. My mother held me gently, heartbroken beyond words. My father looked grim and dark. He slammed the table hard. We really brought a wolf into the house. That Song Jingnian must have done it on purpose. Starting today, we will cut off all funding for Song Jingnian. We will find evidence of his crimes and hold him accountable for everything. After a long while, my emotions finally settled down. My parents also had to leave because of work. The hospital room was empty and quiet again. But I was not as upset as before. I stayed in the hospital for a long time. Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu came to visit almost every day. Every time, I refused to see them. Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu could only leave the gifts they bought at the door every day, waiting for someone to go inside, so the gifts could be carried in as well. But every time, I gave them to the nurse on duty. It was not until the day I was discharged that Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu came to pick me up. Xingmian, your family is away on business. We came to pick you up. I did not even look at them. I turned to leave in the opposite direction. Xumeng Yao's expression darkened. She grabbed my hand. Xingmian, because you are unhappy. We have not seen Song Jingnian lately. It is understandable that you do not like him. But why are you so distant from us two? Hearing that, I could not help but find it ridiculous. Was I the one deliberately keeping my distance? Was it not them who pushed me out step by step and forcibly cut me off from them? I only let out a few quiet laughs and did not answer. Qin Heiyu drove the car over and blocked the exit. If you do not get in the car, we will stay blocked here. I guarantee no car on this road will be able to pass. As if to prove her words, cars not far away quickly honked in protest. Then a second car honked. Then a third. More and more followed. I did not want to block traffic, so I had no choice but to get in. And as soon as I got in, the two of them started fawning over me like crazy. Xingmian, look, this is from your favorite pastry shop. Have you not always wanted to eat it? I waited in line for ages. Qin Heiyu looked like a puppy begging for praise, holding up the pastry with bright, sparkling eyes. No need. I do not like it anymore. It is too rich. I refused coldly. Xumeng Yao pushed another exquisitely wrapped box of ointment toward me. It is fine. If you do not like it, then you do not like it. I bought this ointment from a famous medical professor overseas. If you apply it, it will help your wounds heal. I pushed the ointment back. No need. The hospital prescribed medicine. I do not need these. No matter how hard the two of them tried to please me, I refused them all. Suddenly, I felt like something had been stuffed into the crack of the seat. I reached in and pulled it out. It was a note. Written on it was, Song Jingnian's private car. I could not help but let out a scoff. Qin Heiyu hurriedly snatched the note away and tore it to pieces. Xingmian. This was from the last game I lost. Her movements were hurried, as if afraid I would misunderstand. I only gave a light laugh, not caring at all. It has nothing to do with me. I closed my eyes, completely uninterested. I did not care about their reaction. Qin Heiyu's expression changed at once. How could it have nothing to do with you? Have you forgotten what you promised us before? You were supposed to make a choice on the first day of school. Xumeng Yao's cool gaze flickered. She could not help asking, and you? Have you made your choice? I gave them a sidelong glance. You should probably ask Song Jingnian that instead. Both of their expressions changed at once. They hurriedly tried to explain. Why would we ask Song Jingnian? We do not have feelings for him. Have you misunderstood something? I closed my eyes, not wanting to listen anymore. Su-meng Yao and Qin Heiyu did not dare disturb me with any more talk. They only exchanged a glance. Feeling that I seemed to have changed a lot, I had become more and more indifferent to them. This was not what they had intended. They wanted to explain, but for a moment, they did not know where to begin. So they could only comfort themselves that everything would be fine once school started. As soon as I got home, I got a call from my teacher. Xingmian, you did very well this time. You are the city top scorer. The school wants to invite you back to give a speech to the juniors and freshmen, to share your study experience. I hesitated for a moment. If I went to give the speech, then the fact that I changed my application choice would not stay hidden. But I only hesitated for a few seconds before agreeing. The change in my school choice, they would find out sooner or later. I had only kept it from them to avoid trouble, but it was already settled. No matter how crazy they went, they could not change anything. Compared with that, I would rather share some study tips with the juniors and freshmen. With that in mind, I started preparing thoroughly for the speech. But just as I was about to go on stage, Su-meng Yao and Qin Heiyu blocked my way. Qin Heiyu spoke a little awkwardly. Xingmian, you do not need to go on stage this time. How about going out with us to get something to eat? Or is there somewhere you want to go? We can take you there, I asked, a little confused. What do you mean? Su-meng Yao was silent for a few seconds, then took over. Jingnian really wanted to train his public speaking skills, so I had my father step in and give him the speaking opportunity. So his father invested in several buildings, so changing the speaker at the last minute is no big deal. It was just a word from him. At that moment, Song Jingnian's voice came from the stage. Following the sound, I looked up and saw Song Jingnian standing on stage, looking at me, stunned and lost in thought. Su-meng Yao and Qin Heiyu could not help but feel uneasy. They waited for me to explode with anger, but after waiting a long time, I kept a cold face, showing no sign of anger. In the end, I only smiled, said nothing, and turned to leave. What a pity. Su-meng Yao, Qin Heiyu, you missed your last chance to learn the truth. On the day school started, my parents came back specially. Xingmian, is your luggage all packed? Peking University is so far from Jing City, more than 3,000 kilometers away. Make sure you bring everything you need. Mom kept counting the luggage again and again, worried. I smiled and shook my head. No need. You two are busy with work. You do not need to worry about me. Even after I said that, Mom still could not relax. She wiped away her tears. You are going to such a far place all by yourself. How can we not worry? Why University is right here in the city, and you insist on going so far away. I smiled and hugged her. Mom, I am only going to school, and you are crying like this. If I go study abroad in the future, would you not cry yourself out? That was when Mom suddenly remembered something. She hurriedly took a note out of her bag. A phone number was written on it. Xingmian. Actually, our family arranged a match for you when you were little. But Su-meng Yao and Qin Heiyu have been clinging to you since childhood. We always thought you would marry one of them. So, we never brought it up. Now it looks like they are not a good fit for you either. That girl is also studying at Peking University. She is at the same school as you. Although childhood betrothals are not really a thing anymore. If you do get along, then go ahead. If not, and you ever need help with anything, you can ask her. At least you will have someone looking out for you. As she spoke, Mom placed the note in my palm, just as I was about to refuse. Su-meng Yao and Qin Heiyu suddenly walked in. Uncle, Annie, rest assured, we will take good care of Xingmian. Everyone there knew the two of them had misunderstood, thinking the adults were talking about them. But everyone stayed silent, and no one told them the truth. I calmly put the note into my pocket. Mom, do not worry. I know. Mom wiped away her tears and answered. Dad could not help but redden around the eyes too. Su-meng Yao and Qin Heiyu exchanged a look, not understanding why they were crying like that. Uncle, Annie, NGÓN University is in the city. Although Xingmian will be living on campus, he can still come back anytime on weekends. If he gets homesick, we can come back and see him every day. My parents sighed. They said nothing. Su-meng Yao and Qin Heiyu did not notice anything unusual. They hurried into my room to help me pack my luggage. But after they went in, both of them were startled. Su-meng Yao said in surprise, Isn't it in the city? You can go home anytime. Why bring so many clothes? I am sentimental. Of course, it is normal to have a lot of clothes. I'll just take them with me. Qin Heiyu chimed in. Right, right. Take as many as you want. Once the formalities are done, we can come back and get more. Xumeng Yao did not say anything else, and casually picked up a suitcase. Her usually cool expression now carried a trace of barely noticeable tension. Xingmian, come with me in my car. After hesitating for a moment, she continued haltingly. I have a surprise waiting for you at school. Kinhei quickly snatched the suitcase from her hands. You should ride with me instead. I have a surprise too. The two of them tugged at me from left and right, in the tug of war. Suddenly, someone's phone rang. Meng Yao, hey you. I was in a car accident on the way to school. It's Song Jingnian. Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu's expressions changed instantly. They hurriedly asked, are you okay? What happened? Were you injured? Song Jingnian's pained voice came from the other end. I'm fine. Just scared. Xumeng Yao made a snap decision. Don't move. Wait there. I'll be there right away. Qin Heiyu also comforted him. Don't be afraid. I'm here. I'll come to you. After hanging up, they finally remembered me beside them. Before they could speak, I cut off the words they had not said yet. No need for you to take me. I'll go to school on my own. Xumeng Yao looked like she wanted to say something but stopped. In the end, she only said, when you get to school, remember to call me. Qin Heiyu also said hesitantly, Xingmian, you said you would choose one of us on the first day of school. Don't forget. I kept looking at them coldly, without nodding, and without answering. The two of them already felt something was off. But Qin Heiyu's phone rang again. Song Jingnian on the other end started going on again, saying he was scared again. Only then did the two of them have no choice but to leave. Before they left, Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu kept looking back every few steps. They repeatedly reminded me to remember to contact them, yet I never replied. Finally, the two of them got into their own cars, and I got into mine too. Just after sitting down, my phone vibrated slightly. After opening it, I found it was from Song Jingnian. Xingmian. See that now? As long as I make one phone call, they will still leave you behind. Even if you become their boyfriend, it's the same. If you keep sponsoring me, I'll think about it. Maybe I'll give one of them to you. Seeing that message, I let out a sneer. My fingers typed out a few words. No need. I don't want either of them anymore. I gave them all to you. After sending it, I blocked Song Jingnian without hesitation. Then I blocked Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu as well. Finally, I snapped my SIM card in half and threw it away. I took out a new one from my bag and replaced it. Then I entered the number of the childhood betrothal partner my mother had just given me. The driver stepped on the accelerator. The car headed toward the airport, the opposite direction from the other two. I looked at the scenery rushing past and gave a faint smile. This time, I was going to start a completely new life. My flight had just taken off. At the same time, Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu on the other side were both holding bouquets of flowers. They stood at the gate of Hua University. Their faces grew darker and darker. They still had not seen the Ji family car. Their bad feeling kept getting stronger. For some reason, a thought suddenly rose in their minds. That I did not want to accept their confession. Impossible. Maybe Xingmian just took another road into the school gate. They hardly dared to think about the other impossible possibility. The countless flowers arranged behind them drew the attention of many students. Some busybodies even took photos of them and posted them on the school forum. Our school's new beauties are making such a huge scene on their first day. Who are they trying to confess to? I'm dying. Who exactly is this lucky? Now that you mention it, they really each have their own style. One is cool and aloof. The other is bold and passionate. Are they both confessing to the same boy? Are they still at the school gate now? I'm going to take a look too. After countless people saw that forum post, they hurried over to watch. Xumeng Yao had no idea how many times she had called me, and I still had not answered. Qin Heiyu's face had darkened completely. He blocked me. I cannot reach him at all. She gripped her phone tightly. She gripped her phone so tightly it nearly bent out of shape. The chill in Xumeng Yao's eyes was full of the same irritation. So was I. They had never encountered anything like this before. I would never go this long without contacting them. Something must have happened. All the gifts they had prepared in advance were left scattered where they had been tossed aside. Xumeng Yao raced home without caring about anything else. Qin Heiyu also hurried to look for me at school. The Ji family's door was knocked on again. This time, after a long while, someone finally opened the door. It was the maid from the house. Miss Su, may I ask what you need? Seeing the maid, Xumeng Yao fell silent for a moment. After a brief silence, she finally spoke. Is Xingmian still at home? As she spoke, she also glanced inside. The maid looked completely confused. Miss, the young master left with you this morning. How could he still be at home now? Xuening Yao gave a soft hum. Then she asked again. Are uncle and aunt still at home? I have something I want to ask them. Oh, the master and madam left after you did, and went out of town on a business trip. They are not at home. You can call them and ask. The maid answered honestly. Then she slowly closed the door. Xuening Yao's eyes darkened. If the call could go through, that would be great, she murmured to herself. A sudden trace of loneliness crept over her. Could it be that Xingmian really did not want to accept their confession, and was avoiding them because of it? They had clearly handled Song Jingnian's matter, then rushed to school as fast as they could to prepare the surprise. Why were they still one step too late? They had been so close. They could have explained everything clearly. Xuening Yao returned to school in a daze. Meanwhile, Qin Heiyu was not doing any better on the other side. She asked everywhere whether anyone knew me. The students who passed by all shook their heads. A kind student came over to remind her. Miss, that is not how you look for someone. If you want to find someone, ask the student union, or go check the academic affairs office. That would be much faster. After getting the tip, Qin Heiyu reacted at once. She hurried to the academic affairs office and found the teacher in charge of student records. Teacher, my boyfriend is a new student at the school, but he has been unreachable until now. I want you to help me check whether he is registered and enrolled. The teacher hesitated for a long time, until Qin Heiyu said she could donate a library building, and then he agreed with a broad grin. He checked the system several times, but could not find anyone named Xingmian. There was not even one person with the same name. At that point, even the teacher was unsure. Young lady, are you sure your boyfriend is called this name? He pointed at the name on the screen, and kept confirming it. Qin Heiyu nodded quickly. Yes. How could I misremember his name? Now it was the teacher's turn to panic. He checked several times, with Qin Heiyu beside him, looking over it who knows how many times, before finally concluding. Student, the Xingmian you're talking about is not a student at our school. We did not admit anyone by that name this year. The system records would not be wrong. Did your boyfriend lie to you? If he really lied to you, you should call the police right away, the teacher said with concern. Hearing that, Qin Heiyu felt as if struck by lightning. Thunder roared through her mind. What had she just heard? Nyan University did not admit Xingmian. Then, where had Xingmian gone? With Xingmian's grades, no matter which school he went to, he would be fiercely competed for. There was absolutely no way he could have failed to get in. What exactly happened? In an instant, Qin Heiyu felt her mind go blank. At that moment, Xuening Yao also got the news and came over. The atmosphere around her was unusually heavy. Almost no one dared to approach her. They all wished they could stay 1,000 miles away from her. How is it? She asked coldly, clearly in a bad mood, and seething with frustration. Qin Heiyu shook her head. She laid out everything she had just learned. Xuening Yao's gaze darkened. Her eyes narrowed. Where exactly had Xingmian gone? He is going to leave us. That thought rose in both of their minds. For a moment, neither of them could accept it. For a split second, they both wondered, had they pushed him too hard to make him act like this? But the next second, a boy's voice interrupted their thoughts. Ladies, there is a boy at the school gate who picked up your gifts and flowers, and said he knows you. Go take a look. It is raining outside. Getting soaked and falling sick would not be good. At those words, Xuening Yao and Qin Heiyu exchanged a look. They both saw surprise and excitement in each other's eyes. The two of them hurried toward the school gate. Is it Xingmian? That impossible fantasy rose in both of their minds. Maybe Xingmian really was just playing a joke on them. It does not matter if he is not at the same school. As long as Xingmian is still willing to accept their confessions, that is enough. They both thought the same thing. As they got closer and closer to the school gate, their hearts were pounding wildly. It was not until the boy holding two bouquets at the school gate turned around that they froze in place. Why is it you? Song Jingnian. What are you doing here? Where is Xingmian? Qin Heiyu and Xuening Yao spoke one after the other. Song Jingnian's whole body was soaked by the pouring rain, yet he still tried hard to shield the rain with his body, so it would not soak the flowers and gifts in his arms. Meng Yao. You finally came. I helped keep your gifts safe. Why hasn't Xingmian come yet? I've been waiting here for ages. His unnerved body was battered by the wind and rain, yet it still carried a stubborn edge. Unfortunately, neither of them was in the mood to appreciate it. Can Hei brushed him off disappointedly. You don't need to watch these. Go back first. Xingmian isn't coming. Xumeng Yao looked at the flowers strewn in a mess on the ground. They had never expected things to turn out like this. All their hope had instantly come to nothing. Naturally, it did not feel good. At this point, they had no mood to deal with Song Jingnian. However, he still would not give up. He held the gifts and coaxed them with a smile. Meng Yao, Heiyu. Don't lose heart. Xingmian just hasn't made up his mind yet. Maybe after a while he'll figure it out. Look, the gifts you prepared are really nice. I like them very much. Xingmian will definitely like them too. Unfortunately, Can Heiyu and Xumeng Yao were not listening closely to this. Back then, they could not bear to see Song Jingnian suffer even a little. But now, even though he was also getting soaked in the rain, they could ignore it completely. Xumeng Yao said lightly, he won't like it. We grew up with him since we were little. How could they still not understand what I mean? My behavior like this is obvious rejection. To get away from them, I changed my first choice application, but I never told them. Can Heiyu lowered her eyes too, her whole body exuding sorrow. Maybe they had made the wrong move. They had thought that treating Song Jingnian well would make me jealous, and then compete with Song Jingnian, trying to figure out whose confession I should accept in the end. They never expected I would reject both of them. The eyes of Xumeng Yao and Can Heiyu were filled with disappointment. At that moment, Song Jingnian suddenly opened the 2 gift boxes, took out the cufflinks and watch inside, and put them on. He took both of their hands, one in each of his, and said firmly, Meng Yao. Xingmian doesn't like them, but you still have me. I like them. You are both wonderful. It's just that Xingmian can't see it. Can you also look at the person beside you? I'm pretty good too. Ignoring the rain soaking his clothes, Song Jingnian shouted these words loudly. In an instant, the whole campus fell silent, including Xumeng Yao and Can Heiyu. Can Heiyu gave an awkward tug at her lips. Song Jingnian, you're not joking, are you? Take off the watch. This is not something you can wear. Xumeng Yao stared at Song Jingnian's hands, her gaze cold enough to make it seem she wanted to cut those hands off. Who gave you permission to put on that pair of cufflinks? Take them off. They were not for you. Her icy hands clutched Song Jingnian's sleeve tightly. She forcibly tore the sleeve and pulled off the cufflinks. Song Jingnian nearly froze in place. How could this be? In almost an instant, his face turned ugly. Song Jingnian forced down the humiliation and kept apologizing. I'm sorry. This isn't mine. I know. I misunderstood and thought you liked me. It was just me overthinking it. Before Can Heiyu reached out to take off the watch, she took it off and placed it in the palm of her hand. Sorry. It's all my fault for taking Xingmian's things. I thought he had rejected you, and that I would have a chance. Turns out it was just my wishful thinking. Song Jingnian gave a self-mocking smile, then turned and strode away. But he never heard the footsteps chasing after him behind him. This time, he was completely panicked. He had assumed that Xumeng Yao and Can Heiyu were already under his control, that they loved him so much they could not pull away. And yet Xingmian had clearly abandoned them on the agreed confession day. So, why were they still so in love with him? Was Song Jingnian really that far below Xingmian? The resentment in his heart grew heavier and heavier. He slammed a fist hard into the tree trunk, not even noticing when blood seeped from his knuckles. Meanwhile, Xumeng Yao and Can Heiyu were carefully putting the family heirlooms back into the box. They had never once thought about accepting Song Jingnian. To them, Song Jingnian had only ever been pitiful, and more often than not, just a tool to make me jealous. Now that I was no longer here, there was no need for them to treat him so well anymore. Besides, because of him, I had chosen no one at all. Xumeng Yao and Can Heiyu exchanged a look, and both saw the dissatisfaction in the other's eyes. If they had not made that damn promise back then, maybe they would have already won me over by now. Instead of ending up like this, with no way to even find out where I had gone. Then Xumeng Yao suddenly said, Teacher Liu knows. At that, Can Heiyu immediately looked up on reflex. Teacher Liu was their homeroom teacher in high school, so he must know which university I went to. Xumeng Yao and Can Heiyu hurriedly opened their phones. Hello. Teacher Liu, it's me, Xumeng Yao. I wanted to ask, which university did Xingmian go to? Teacher Liu on the other end was very surprised. The three of you were together almost every day. You don't even know which university Xingmian went to. Teacher Liu did not think much of it. he said proudly. Xingmian had the best grades. He went to Peking University. When our school received the notice, we even thought it was a little strange. Why did he not go with the two of you and stay at Hua University in the city? Peking University here in the city. But the situation had already been settled. You never asked us at the time. So we thought you already knew. Look, the class group even posted the admission list back then. You'll know once you take a look. At that, Qin Heiyu hurriedly opened the class group and searched carefully. Sure enough, on the admission list, after my name, there was clearly Beicheng University. In an instant, both of them froze. Peking University was full of students from all over the country. Why would Xingmian choose to go there, when, just before, Xingmian had still filled in Hua University according to the agreement? Why had he suddenly changed it? Su Mengyao and Qin Heiyu both saw the confusion in each other's eyes. Had Xingmian planned from so long ago to leave them forever? But why? Could it be that Xingmian did not feel even a little moved by them? If I were there, I would definitely tell them. Perhaps in the past, there had certainly been feelings. It might even have counted as liking them. Only that affection had been destroyed by the two of them with their own hands. No boy can accept betrayal from the people around him, not even from friends. I gave them countless chances, but I never expected. Back then, the two childhood sweethearts who had always stood firmly by my side, after so many times, I should have given up. I had just gotten off the plane when I saw a woman holding a pickup sign with my name on it. The woman had deep, striking features, tall with long legs, and her enviable figure drew plenty of attention. Xingmian, when she came closer, I heard her carefully say my name. A sexy, slightly hoarse voice let out a soft laugh, and I froze for a moment. I'm Jiang Xuening, your childhood betrothal partner. She called the Jiang family's driver and had him help load my remaining luggage into the car. I just stood there dazedly, letting Jiang Xuening lead me along. It was not until I felt the cool air of Beicheng that I instinctively shrank back, and my head cleared in an instant. I did not get the wrong person, did I? You really are the childhood betrothal partner my mom mentioned. The moment the words left my mouth, she draped a trench coat over me. I don't think I could have mistaken you. Jiang Xuening produced a photo, as if by magic, and held it up in front of me. When I took it, I saw myself in the photo. I gave an embarrassed smile. Sorry, I shouldn't have doubted you. It's fine, let's go to campus. Jiang Xuening smiled understandingly. It's fine, let's go to campus. Jiang Xuening smiled understandingly. She continued, I'm a finance and management major in the School of Business at Peking University. I'm 1 year ahead of you. If you need anything, you can come to me. As she spoke, she held up the QR code on her phone. Let's add each other. Jiang Xuening escorted me to the dorm entrance and told the driver to take all my luggage up to the dorm room. Before I could even refuse, she had already organized my luggage. Even the bed had been made. Anything that was missing, she noticed immediately and quickly sent someone to buy it. For a moment, I was almost overwhelmed by the attention. She was just too considerate. Watching Jiang Xuening's busy back, I had the absurd illusion that she really was my girlfriend. Looking at Jiang Xuening's busy back, I had the strange feeling she really was my girlfriend. But in an instant, I snapped back to my senses. With Su Mengyao and Qin Heiyu as my warning, I almost did not want to give away another ounce of sincerity. This way was already good enough. I thanked her politely. Jiang Xuening noticed my distance. She gave a soft laugh and said, okay. It was not until I had lain down and fallen into a deep sleep that at Hua University, Su Mengyao and Qin Heiyu had no sleepiness at all. With me not at Hua University, everything here seemed to lose its appeal. Su Mengyao was listless. She turned down every class activity. Even the upcoming military training was dodged through connections. Standing on the balcony, she called Father Su. Hello? Dad, I want to transfer to Peking University. There was a long silence on the other end of the line. Dad, I want to transfer to Peking University. The person on the other end froze for a long time after hearing that. Then an angry stream of curses came through. Su Mengyao, have you lost your mind? University isn't. High school is not somewhere you can just go wherever you want. Stop being naive. I will not agree to it. You know how important our family status and standing are. So every move you make has to be especially careful. Do not even bring up a transfer. Unless you drop out and take the Gaokao again. Su Mengyao had long expected this result. She felt no disappointment at all. This call was not to ask for his opinion. It was to inform him. Meanwhile, Qin Heiyu was in the same situation beside her. Her father cursed her out without warning. Qin Heiyu's eyes were dark and heavy. Father Qin berated her harshly from the start. Qin Heiyu's eyes were dark and heavy. But she never said a word. Which university? Didn't matter to them. In the past, it was because they thought I liked Hua University that they specially brought me to Hua University's gate to check in and decided to come here for college. But they never expected that to escape them, I would make such a rash decision. Su Mengyao and Qin Heiyu almost did not sleep all night. The next day was supposed to be the day they were supposed to go with their classmates to freshman orientation. They headed toward the academic affairs office. The academic affairs office teacher frowned tightly and kept asking over and over, "What's wrong with Hua University? Why do you want to withdraw?" The teacher did everything possible, trying to keep these surprised students here. Yet Su Mengyao replied coldly, "Teacher, with my intelligence, getting into any school is effortless. Xingmian isn't here, so there's no need for me to stay." Qin Heiyu chimed in too. "It's just the Gaokao. I only need to put a little thought into it. I don't want to be separated from Xingmian." The teacher hesitated. At that moment, Jingnian was standing outside the door and heard all of it. He had thought that now the three of them were all at Hua University, with only Xingmian absent. His chance had come, but he never expected that they would actually drop out for Xingmian. "Mengyao, Heiyu, can you not drop out? I don't want to be separated from you. Won't you look back at me too? I'm clearly not any worse than him. I'm clearly the one who likes you more." Jingnian shouted with determination, his expression almost pleading. After hearing that, Su Mengyao and Qin Heiyu found the oddness and disgust in their eyes growing more obvious. The office was deathly silent. After a long while, Su Mengyao broke the silence first. "Jingnian, I remember what you promised us before." The moment she said that, Jingnian felt half his heart go cold. Qin Heiyu forced down her anger and dragged him out of the office. Then she slapped him hard. "Jingnian, back then we agreed you would act with us to make Xingmian jealous. You promised us you would absolutely never develop feelings for us that you shouldn't have. That's why we chose you," Qin Heiyu said coldly, her eyes red with fury. Su Mengyao's clear voice came too. "Back then, you promised us that you would help us pursue Xingmian. But now, you use our hands to force Xingmian away, and you still want to confess to us. I remember warning you more than once not to develop feelings for us that you shouldn't have. How do you think this should be settled now?" Their words, one after another, almost nailed Jingnian to the cross, as if he would be sentenced to death the next second. He panicked to the extreme, but could not get a single complete sentence out. During this period, he had been basking in how well they treated him. He had already forgotten their original agreement. He still remembered when he first met Su Mengyao and Qin Heiyu. He only thought they were heavenly beauties. I kept bringing him into contact with them over and over. Jingnian saw for himself their care and affection toward me. Gradually, he developed a greedy thought. He thought, if they looked at him with those adoring eyes and treated him well, he would probably be the happiest person in the world. At that time, how miserable would I be? Just thinking about it made Jingnian excited. He dreamed of replacing me. So, he made a bold decision. Jingnian found Su Mengyao and Qin Heiyu and proposed a deal. The deal was that they would pretend to be nice to me, to make me jealous, and he would help them pursue me. To make them believe the plan would work, I deliberately threw away the love letters they had prepared for me, and even forged notes addressed to myself. When I discovered those two love letters bearing Su Mengyao's and Qin Heiyu's names, that shocked, flustered expression, Jingnian still remembers clearly to this day. Sure enough, I took the love letters to confront them, and just as they expected, I got jealous. Afterward, they believed it, and decided that on the day Hua University opened, they would tell me everything, explaining it all. But none of them expected that I had already snuffed out the feelings I should not have had, and changed my first choice application. Remembering everything that had happened during this period, Jingnian gave a mad laugh. Ha ha ha. If Su Mengyao and Qin Heiyu hadn't found out ahead of time, I'm afraid he would have been immersed in the dream he had woven for himself. Their cold, ruthless eyes made it seem as if, during all this time, their kindness toward him had never existed. Song Jingnian instinctively reached out to touch their arms. But Qin Heiyu cut him off without hesitation. You lied to us. You also forced Xingmian away. His tone held a faint, dangerous edge. If this had been before, they might not even have planned to deal with Song Jingnian yet, but he insisted on recklessly coming at them, so he could not blame them. Sumin Yao's voice was ice-cold. If it weren't for you, Xingmian would never have left us. Don't you care most about your future? We will cut off your sponsorship, and for everything you did to bully Xingmian before. The moment she said that, Song Jingnian laughed until he cried. Sumeng Yao, Qin Heiyu. Stop deceiving yourselves. During this period, you had countless chances to win Ji Xingmian back, but you never did. If it was you who pushed him away with your own hands, I told you, he doesn't love you at all. The person who loves you most is me. It's me, he shouted himself hoarse, trying to make the two of them turn back. However, Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu had only indifference in their eyes. Enough. Xingmian still has us in his heart. Then the two of them left Song Jingnian behind there, and without hesitation went to process their withdrawal. Song Jingnian collapsed onto the ground in disgrace, his heart in utter panic. Just canceling his sponsorship was enough to push him to the brink. He was used to living in luxury. For him to fall back into the mire again was impossible. Without money, even staying alive would be hard. For a moment, Song Jingnian regretted it. He hurriedly got up, grabbed the cards Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu had given him earlier, and rushed to the bank. I want to withdraw cash. The more, the better. He fumbled to enter the password, and only then managed to enter it correctly. At this point, only a large amount of cash could probably satisfy his restless nerves. However, the ATM malfunctioned, showing that his bank card had been frozen. Song Jingnian panicked completely. How could this happen? It couldn't happen this fast. He did not know how many machines he switched to, but the message was always the same. Impossible. Song Jingnian muttered frantically. He slapped the bank cards down in front of the teller and roared, "Withdraw cash for me. All of it, everything you can give me." The clerk checked again and again, then frowned and said patiently, "Sorry, both of your bank cards have been frozen. You can't withdraw any money." At that, Song Jingnian went weak all over. Like a heap of rotten mud, he collapsed onto the floor. It's over. Everything was over. He casually threw the two bank cards onto the floor. He was on the verge of a complete breakdown. He did not even know how he made his way back. As he walked, a mischievous child suddenly appeared, holding a firework in his hand, laughing and joking with his friends. Then, not watching where he was going, he accidentally crashed into Song Jingnian's shin. "Get lost. Don't touch me." He kicked the child flying. The child immediately burst into tears. Seeing the firework in his hand, the child's eyes turned vicious. He lit it and hurled it at Song Jingnian's back. With a bang, the firework exploded. Song Jingnian's clothes caught fire from the sparks. A patch of his hair was singed off too. Help? Somebody help me." Song Jingnian writhed on the ground in pain. Unfortunately, there were no cameras here, and hardly anyone ever came by. The two children who had been playing around were nowhere to be seen. In the shadows, a red dot blinked once. Then a bodyguard in black reported in a low voice, "Mr. Ji, it's done. We will make sure Song Jingnian suffers." Ji Xingmian's father stood by the floor-to-ceiling window, looking out over the river. He gave a soft hum. After a long struggle, Song Jingnian finally managed to put out the fire on his back. Then he limped toward the hospital. Even without looking, the searing pain across his back had him breaking out in a cold sweat. Song Jingnian's face turned ashen. He had only taken a few steps before he fainted face first to the ground. After kind strangers took him to the hospital, Song Jingnian woke again, his whole body torn with pain. But when the nurse saw that he was awake, she urged him to get someone to pay his bill. "Mr. Song, none of the contacts in your phone can be reached. The surgery fee and hospitalization fee still need to be paid on time. Otherwise, the follow-up surgery may not be possible, and you won't be able to stay here for treatment either." Song Jingnian could not help crying out in pain. He called Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu one by one, begging them to help him one more time. He could not count on his family at all. It would already be good if they did not demand money from him. How could they possibly pay his medical bills? However, after who knew how many calls to Sumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu, someone finally answered. "What is it?" Sumeng Yao's cold voice came through the phone. "Meng Yao, please, help me. A child set off a firework that blasted me. I'm in the hospital now, and I don't have any money to pay for the surgery. Please, just help me one more time. What happened before was my fault, but I could not have predicted Xingmian's feelings. Didn't you try it before too? Didn't it work? Please, I'm begging you. He begged for so long. That song Jingnian did not even know how many times he had said it. His voice had gone hoarse. Only then did Su Mengyao finally speak from the other end of the line. Come to think of it, I seem to have forgotten. You actually did so many terrible things to Xingmian before. We were still too soft on you. That is why you still have the nerve to come begging me now. Kinheiyu, standing beside her, also said fiercely, for anyone who hurt Xingmian, you should have paid it back 100 times over. Beep. The call ended. The last trace of hope in Song Jingnian's eyes was shattered. He did not want to become a monster. So, he used all the savings he had accumulated over the year for surgery. However, because of financial limits, even after the surgery, he still could not go back to how he had been before. After Su Mengyao and Kinheiyu dropped out, they immediately signed up for a repeat year class. In no time, rumors about the two of them spread across the entire Nyan University campus. Almost everyone was talking about how stupid they were, confessing on the very first day of school, only to find that the person they confessed to was not even at the school. Someone in the know even leaked what happened with Song Jingnian. Countless people talked about Song Jingnian, all of them with a trace of contempt. Only, he was lying in the hospital now, completely unaware. Su Mengyao considered her grades pretty good. Even if she did not attend the repeat year class, she could still get into Peking University next year. The repeat year was just a formality. Even if Kinheiyu's grades were not as good as Su Mengyao's, she was naturally not worried either. It was just that Su Mengyao could also hire a tutor, so the two of them hurried nonstop to Beicheng, Peking University. The roommates I met here were all pretty nice. Everything on campus was so wonderful that it almost made me forget Su Mengyao and Kinheiyu. Military training ended. My phone buzzed. My roommates teased me jokingly. It's that pretty senior sister asking you out to dinner again, isn't it? Honestly, when are you two getting together? Will we ever get to eat the meal you treat us to? Exactly. A lot of people are shipping you two. The three of us even made a bet. How much longer will it take Senior Jiang to win you over? The whole group was noisy and rowdy, each one talking over the others. My whole face flushed red. Enough. I have not decided yet. Besides, I am just thanking her for helping me out during this time. After brushing off my roommates, I stood below the dorm building, craning my neck and looking around. But I did not see Zhang Xuening. Just when I was wondering why, a girl I had helped during military training came over holding a bouquet of red roses and appeared in front of me. Xingmian, I really like you. Could I be with you? The delicate girl stammered out the words she had kept hidden in her heart for a long time. A lot of classmates were gathered behind her, watching and cheering. Say yes. However, I refused firmly. Sorry, I do not like you. I cannot be with you. The girl's face instantly turned ugly. Her lips moved a few times, as if she wanted to say something else. That was when Zhang Xuening appeared behind me. Her warm little hand looped around my arm. Xingmian has already rejected you. It's time to leave, isn't it? Seeing Zhang Xuening appear, the girl's face went gray in an instant. She left in disappointment. The crowd also scattered one after another. Seeing that, I was still a little surprised. They all seemed pretty scared of you. Zhang Xuening gave a soft chuckle. Of course, after all, I count as their teacher now. Of course they are afraid. Hearing that, my confusion only grew. Teacher, aren't you only 1 year ahead of me? In the second half of last year, I had already finished all my undergraduate coursework and moved ahead into graduate study. In the first half of this year, I was specially appointed as a teaching assistant and taught some of the students' courses, and taught courses to some students. Maybe because of that, they were so afraid of me. Hearing her say that, I was nearly speechless. In many people's lives, her resume alone would have been impressive enough to stand out, but she brushed over it so lightly. You're that impressive. They probably just respect you. I quickly found an excuse for everything that had just happened. Zhang Xuening only smiled faintly and did not explain. Shortly after she entered the school last year, many eager pursuers confessed to her, only to be ruthlessly rejected and coldly shut down by her. Quite a few were talked into silence by her. That rumor spread and spread, so naturally, many people were afraid of her. On the way, she took me to a private dining place. We unexpectedly ran into two people I did not want to see. Who is she? Xuming Yao and Qin Heiyu asked at the same time. A warning flickered in both of their eyes at once. My heart skipped a beat. I had never expected to see them again in Beicheng. What are you doing here? She has nothing to do with you, does she? Shouldn't you be with Song Jingnian right now? I asked coldly, almost instinctively. I thought they were going to blame me again. For Song Jingnian. At the mention of Song Jingnian, Xuming Yao and Qin Heiyu's expressions immediately grew unnatural. Xuming Yao coughed lightly. She pulled out a recent photo of Song Jingnian lying in a hospital bed. We are not with him. He has already gotten the punishment he deserved. What happened before? I can explain it to you. In the photo, many parts of Song Jingnian's body were bandaged. Some exposed scars were shocking to look at, but I did not care. So, you came to ask me to forgive him? That hardly seems necessary. I do not think there is anything left to explain. So I took Zhang Zuning's hand and signaled that she could leave. At that moment, Qin Heiyu grabbed my other hand tightly and hurriedly explained, we are not here to ask Song Jingnian for forgiveness. What he is like now. He brought it on himself. We were tricked by him before, which is why we were so cold to you and so good to him. Qin Heiyu and Xuming Yao supplemented each other's explanations, explaining everything that had happened during this time. But I did not feel the slightest bit moved. Instead, I only found it absurd beyond belief. Is that your explanation? It is almost laughable. Even if everything you said is true, the harm I suffered was real too. I can never forgive you. I grew up with them. Of course, I knew what they said was true, but precisely because of that, it made me feel even more that their love for me was truly disgusting. They kept saying they loved me, yet they spent this entire year doing everything they could to hurt me. How ridiculous. As I laughed, I wiped away the tears spilling from the corners of my eyes. I felt sorry for my sincerity from before. Zhang Zuning gently squeezed my hand in comfort. Xuming Yao, Qin Heiyu, a mature person who loves someone, would never treat the one they love by hurting them? If you truly liked Xingmian, you would never have hurt him like that. Also, let me introduce myself. I am Xingmian's fiancée. As soon as she said that, Xuming Yao and Qin Heiyu froze on the spot. They could hardly believe what they had just heard. Xuming Yao's emotions shattered in her eyes. She ground out a sentence through clenched teeth. Xingmian, tell me whether this is true or false. As long as you say it's false, I will believe you. I looked at Zhang Zuning in slight surprise. She gave me a reassuring look, and I immediately understood. I pulled her into my arms and naturally intertwined my fingers with hers. Have we not made it obvious enough? My parents arranged a childhood betrothal for us long ago. Now she is already my fiancée. Qin Heiyu was so angry her eyes turned red. Let go. Xingmian. Please. A childhood betrothal can't be taken seriously. We really love you. Don't deliberately find someone to anger us. As she spoke, she reached out to separate our hands. Xuming Yao also came over with a dark expression. This joke is not funny at all. We made a mistake. You can punish us however you want. Just not like this. We can't live without you. My expression changed slightly. I subconsciously said to Zhang Zuning, you should go first. Seeing my wary gaze, Xuming Yao and Qin Heiyu were both a little frustrated. Zhang Zuning stood in front of me and simply made a phone call. Less than a minute later, several bodyguards appeared and escorted Xuming Yao and Qin Heiyu away. Xuming Yao struggled and rushed up to me. She grabbed my hand and said, come with me. Leave here. Let's go home. We dropped out because of you. If you like Peking University, we can take the entrance exam and get into this school for you. But you can't be with her. Her voice was icy to the bone. Qin Heiyu also rushed over, but the bodyguards held her back. She could not move. Her eyes were fixed on me, as if I were the only one in her life. But I knew that was not the case at all. I do not need love like theirs. Let go. I won't go with you. Your dropping out has nothing to do with me. That was your own choice. I don't like you anymore. Don't you understand that? That blunt refusal completely broke their hearts. The rejection in my eyes was obvious. Zhang Zuning's deep blue eyes darkened. Then the bodyguards quickly stepped forward and restrained Xuming Yao. Xingmian does not want to go with you. Do not force him. In front of Xuming Yao and Qin Heiyu, Zhang Zuning took my hand and led me into the private restaurant. Are you okay? Her gentle voice calmed all the panic in my heart. I shook my head. I'm fine now. Thank you for your help. The two of us sat at the dining table and ate quietly. Our tastes matched perfectly. The dishes on the table were all things we both liked. Jiang would occasionally notice my preferences, helping me pick out dishes, and pouring me tea. When she saw the corners of my lips lift slightly, Jiang also lifted her lips a little. Then she glanced, without a trace, toward a hidden corner. Xingmian, there is a little dirt at the corner of your mouth. Let me help you. Her fingertip was delicate, and it brushed across my cheek, leaving behind a lingering sensation. I froze instinctively, and did not quite react in time. It's fine. Jiang gave a soft laugh. Keep eating. But in the corner, Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu had their mouths tightly sealed with tape. Her eyes were red with anxiety. How could she do this? The ropes binding Qin Heiyu grew tighter and tighter around her body. They nearly left marks all over her, yet she seemed not to feel it at all. Xumeng Yao was no better. She was frantic to the extreme. She was still trying desperately to find a way to escape. They wanted to snatch me back. In their eyes, there was a faintly visible screen between us, and we were just kissing a moment ago. Jiang was the one who made the first move. Xingmian would never be the one to take the initiative. Xingmian would never like her. The two kept deceiving themselves over and over in their hearts. After struggling for a long time, they had finally almost managed to escape, but they were tied up again by the bodyguards. The two on the other side of the screen were chatting merrily. They even made intimate gestures from time to time. The atmosphere was so warm it felt as if they had already been in love for a long time. Meanwhile, Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu on the side saw nothing in each other's faces but annoyance. Looking at each other's miserable state, they only hated their own helplessness. Beicheng was the Jiang family's turf. The Su and Qin families were unwilling to help. At this point, Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu were no different from ordinary college students. No one knew how long had passed. Only after I finished this meal were they escorted back to Jing City by the bodyguards. The two were dumped at their doorstep without a shred of dignity. Before the bodyguards left, they left one last warning. Ms. Jiang warns you to not come back and harass Mr. Ji again, or you will learn the consequences. Xumeng Yao silently got back to her feet and paid his words no mind at all. On the other side, Qin Heiyu had just been sent home when her father locked her up. Dad, I won't give Xingmian up. Didn't you support me liking him before? Why can't you keep supporting me now? Qin father slapped Qin Heiyu across the face and roared, you know that was before. How have you treated Xingmian over the past year? Have you forgotten all of it? Do you know how many times your mother and I went to the Ji family to apologize? Fine, you wronged Xingmian. Fine, you kept getting tangled up with Song Jingnian. But why turn back after doing all that? You've completely thrown the Qin family's dignity away. Starting today, you will stay home and study properly. No going out. But Qin Heiyu still stubbornly refused to bow her head. Dad, Mom, I was the one who wronged Xingmian before. I can bear the consequences myself. I will beg for his forgiveness too. But I will absolutely never give him up. She knelt stubbornly in front of the ancestral hall. Qin father stormed off, slamming the door behind him. If she still refused to give up, then do not give her food or water. Qin Heiyu knelt in the ancestral hall. No one knew how long had passed. Just as she was almost about to faint, a brick in the corner loosened. She instantly perked up. Gritting her teeth, she stood up and pulled the brick out. Let's go. The person on the other side of the brick was Xumeng Yao. Qin Heiyu nodded firmly. With Xumeng Yao's help, she escaped the ancestral hall. The Su house was empty, but there was a pile of things on the floor. Each one carried memories of the three of them from before. There were blocks the three of them played with as children. There were diaries filled with private thoughts. Xingmian has always been soft-hearted. He will definitely forgive us. We just used the wrong method. He will definitely forgive us. Xumeng Yao dug out these things, and her eyes showed a hint of madness. Qin Heiyu looked on, silent for a long time, before finally speaking with difficulty. Let's work together. If this had been before, the two of them would never have said something like that. They were too busy competing with each other. So how could they possibly cooperate? But now, facing the same enemy, Jiang, they had no choice but to work together. Only then would they have a chance to win me back. Xumeng Yao glanced at Qin Heiyu, then gave a firm nod. In just 3 short days, they sorted through every memory from before. Looking at the several boxes packed full of things, they suddenly froze. Subconsciously, they remembered the bridal veil and doll I had thrown into the trash that day. Were they really thrown out because they had gone moldy? These things of theirs were still perfectly preserved. How could his have possibly gone moldy? Everything that happened in the 2 short months before school started kept echoing in their minds again and again. Even though they already had a vague answer in their hearts, they still subconsciously avoided it, refusing to admit it. The 3 of them had grown up together since childhood. That bond was something that could never be cut away. Xingmian would never completely let them go. Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu kept comforting themselves. Not long after they returned to Jing City, they once again quietly went to Beicheng. In the library, there was a private room that belonged solely to Jiang Zuning. She sat across from me, studying on her own. We exchanged a few words now and then. After I realized Jiang Zuning's incredible learning ability, I came to her almost every day to learn from her. The knowledge that books never covered, and that teachers could not fully explain, was where her broad knowledge made her the perfect helper. I wished I could stay by her side every moment, learning from her. It was also the first time Jiang Zuning had met someone who could keep up with her train of thought. So naturally, she taught me everything she knew. But this scene, seen by Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu, almost drove them insane with jealousy. They built a huge block castle made of flowers. The huge block castle made of flowers was set up outside the library. Inside countless gift boxes, they had packed in memories from all these years. Countless candles twinkled like stars, making the whole castle look even more dreamy. Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu had both dressed up carefully. They drew countless eyes. They held flowers in their hands, waiting a little nervously. However, after waiting a long time, several classmates had already gone upstairs to call me, but I still had not come down. At that point, Qin Heiyu finally could not wait any longer. She shouted toward the floor above. Ji Xingmian. Qin Heiyu, I am here to fulfill the promise I made before. That confession last time, you did not hear it. This time, you cannot miss it again. Quite a few classmates were drawn over, peeking out to look. Xumeng Yao followed right after. Xingmian, you promised me before that you would choose one of us to be with. Now it's time to choose. Seeing this scene upstairs, I felt no emotion at all. There was not even a trace of being moved. I called the police directly, on the grounds that there was a fire hazard, and that they were disturbing everyone nearby. Jiang Zuning also called over a school administrator to handle it, and had a water truck brought in as well. I went downstairs, and stood opposite Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu. Do you remember the night of the class reunion? The truth or dare game I mentioned? I said that on the first day of school, I would throw away to things. It was you two. No matter how many times we start over, I still would not choose either of you. As soon as the words left my mouth, the water truck drove up. A sheet of water blasted across the scene, instantly dousing all the candles. Xumeng Yao and Qin Heiyu were soaked to the skin as well. The confession scene that had just moments ago been beautiful and dreamy, instantly turned into a mess. The flowers were washed by the water, and who knew how many petals were lost? The gift boxes were all soaked through, and even the things inside were drenched. Water kept dripping from them. Water also dripped from the hair at Xumeng Yao's forehead. Her cold, frost-like face looked utterly embarrassed. Her pale lips moved slightly. Her voice was barely audible. Xingmian, I'm sorry. What happened before was our fault. But, can you give me one more chance? I have liked you for many years. Look, all these things are proof that I like you. Don't be so cruel. Please. I did not feel the slightest flutter. Qin Heiyu on the side hurriedly spoke up to Xingmian. I am not asking you to choose one of us anymore. As long as you leave Jiang Zuning, we are willing to love you together. You do not need to be in a difficult position. We are all yours. Qin Heiyu's dark eyes were full of unextinguishable resolve. Many onlookers were talking heatedly. I was unmoved. Instead, I thought their words were absurd beyond belief. Are you both crazy? Any feeling I had for you was already snuffed out by your own hands, not to mention forgiving you, or staying with you. Impossible. Give up on that thought. I turned around cleanly and decisively. Qin Heiyu's face turned as white as paper. Humiliated like this again, she could no longer hold on. She fell straight toward me, but I stepped back without hesitation, letting her fall to the ground. My cold reaction completely stabbed Qin Heiyu in the heart. Even Xumeng Yao was stunned for a moment. Then I said to them one last time, Xumeng Yao, Qin Heiyu, stop coming to find me. I already let it go a long time ago. For me, you are only friends I knew in the past. I may marry someone else, but that person will definitely not be you two. After saying that, I left without hesitation. Xumeng Yao stared fixedly at my retreating back, but she still would not give up. She wanted to chase after me. At that moment, several police officers got out of the car and asked, "Who called the police? Who did this?" After questioning them for a while, the police took Xingmian Yao and Qin Heiyu away. One police car could not fit so many people. So Zhang Xuening and I said, we could drive over to give our statements. The group headed to the police station. But at that moment, an old van suddenly sped straight toward the police car. Zhang Xuning's driver was a retired special forces soldier. His reactions were extremely fast. He swerved the car and dodged it skillfully. But the police car was not so lucky. The van seemed to have locked onto the police car. It slammed into the rear of the police car without regard for anything. If anyone could have seen it at that moment, they would definitely have discovered that the man in the driver's seat of the van was Song Jingnian, but both his face and body were wrapped in bandages. Song Jingnian had already gone mad. He no longer had any desire to live. He wanted to take me down with him. Back when Xingmian Yao and Qin Heiyu cut off his support, the little savings he had on hand were nowhere near enough to cover the reconstructive surgery. Even after selling all the gifts they had given him, he still could not find the best doctor. The surgery results were only average. The doctor told him that recovery would be a long process. His injuries were not especially serious, but Song Jingnian could not accept such an ugly version of himself at all. After returning to Hua University, he could even feel the contemptuous looks those people threw at him, and the disgust in their eyes. Later, he missed class for a long time. The school warned him repeatedly, and in the end, they expelled him. He had nothing left. Why did Xingmian still get to have everything? So, he decided to risk everything, just to make everyone regret it. He saw me talking with the police, and agreeing to go give a statement. So he hurriedly got into the car, having prepared in advance. Song Jingnian drove a dilapidated van no one wanted, and rammed it toward the police car. But he never imagined that the people in the police car were not me at all, but Xingmian Yao and Qin Heiyu. He rammed into it at all cost. The entire rear of the police car caved in. Even the backseat window glass shattered. Xingmian Yao, Qin Heiyu, and the auxiliary officer all lost consciousness. Song Jingnian and the old van behind them was no better off. He had passed out in the driver's seat. In an instant, sirens from ambulances and police cars blared nonstop. Even I was shaken. I hurriedly asked Zhang Xuening whether she was all right. I pulled her into my arms and patted her gently. "It's okay. We're all fine. They'll be fine too." After we went to the police station and gave our statement, we waited outside the emergency room at the hospital, waiting for the parents from the Su family and the Qin family to arrive. No one knew how many days passed before Qin Heiyu finally woke up. Her injuries were considered light because she fainted that day. The police protected her, so she was not badly hurt. Only one leg was crushed and broken. Xingmian Yao and the officer in the back seat were not so lucky. A shard of the window glass had lodged in Xingmian Yao's head. It was very dangerous, although it did not threaten her life. But the long-term effects were still uncertain. Song Jingnian had a concussion, and both his legs were broken in the crash. After Qin Heiyu woke up, she refused to see me. "Dad, let him go. It was not his fault that day. It was Song Jingnian. And the way I am now, I am no longer worthy of him." The always proud Miss Qin had, for the first time, suffered such a humiliating blow. She could not accept the sight of herself before me with one leg missing. Her leg will get better in time. But she still would not believe it. What if it never gets cured? Then she would have to limp in front of me for the rest of her life. When she gets better, she will come find me again. Qin Heiyu thought firmly to herself. Mr. and Mrs. Qin kept sighing, but there was nothing they could do. They could only let her do as she wished. At that moment, Qin Heiyu suddenly remembered Xingmian Yao and asked, "Why haven't I seen Meng Yao? Which ward is she in? How badly was she hurt?" Mr. and Mrs. Qin stayed silent for a long time before telling her the answer. Xingmian Yao woke up, but her brain had some problems. As soon as she tried hard to think about something, her head would throb with wave after wave of pain. She lay in the hospital bed, silent for a long time, and also refused to let me visit her. Xingmian, who? I don't know him. I don't want to see him. Xingmian Yao said coldly. I heard that outside the ward, and quietly left. I felt a little guilty. After all, Song Jingnian had been aiming for me, and ended up crashing into Xingmian Yao and Qin Heiyu. But I had not done anything wrong. So I had left compensation, and then left. After realizing I had gone, Xingmian Yao in the ward silently cried. She had been pretending just now. She had not lost her memory, but her current condition was not much different from amnesia. For someone who had always been smart, being unable to think normally, and forced to live as a fool who thought about nothing, was agony beyond words, even if Jingnian had been beaten bloody and locked up. It still could not make up for the harm they had suffered. How could someone like her still compete with Jiang Xuening? Not to mention, she had done so many wrong things. Xuening lowered her eyes, her whole body radiating pain. If she had only suffered a minor injury, maybe she could have played the victim and tried to win Xingnian back. But now, in her own self-loathing, she thought of herself as nothing but a worthless wreck. Not long after, Qin Heiyu was pushed in on a wheelchair. Both of them had the same desolation in their eyes. If it were not for Jingnian, they never would have ended up like this. The two looked at each other and saw the hatred in each other's eyes. Under pressure from the Su family and the Qin family, Jingnian in prison was an unbearable agony. He could not live in peace, and he could not die. Xuening and Qin Heiyu made the same choice. They would not see me, because that way, they could at least win my pity. Maybe after a few years, once they recovered, they could use that pity to take one more shot. But after a year of recovery from their injuries, they had missed the Gaokao. It was not until the next year's Gaokao that they took it again. Qin Heiyu got into Peking University, while Xuening only got into another university in Beicheng. That was already the result of Xuening desperate effort. The injury in her head might improve today, or it might improve tomorrow, or it might never get better. On the day school started, Qin Heiyu came to school again, ready with a surprise. But that day, many students were heading to the sports field. They said something exciting was happening, as if someone was having a wedding. "Excuse me, could you help me find Xingmian?" Qin Heiyu stopped a boy downstairs at the dorms and asked for help. The boy's shy expression instantly turned indescribable. You're a freshman, right? Senior G is getting married today. You didn't know." Once he brought it up, the boy seemed to have endless gossip to share. Senior G is every bit as impressive as Senior Jiang. He skipped several grades in a row. Now he has been admitted as a graduate student ahead of schedule. He might even teach at this school later. The two of them are always together, and they look perfect for each other. Around this time last year, he confessed and proposed. The scene was so romantic that everyone envied them. And this year, they are getting married. That was fast. If you go to the sports field now, you should still be able to see their wedding. Qin Heiyu was almost stunned in place when she heard that. She did not even know when she had walked to a corner of the field. Xuening also appeared beside her. They looked at the boy in a pure white suit not far away, the longing in their eyes never fading. But they both knew it was already too late. "Now please have the bride and groom exchange rings." Jiang Xuening and I exchanged rings. The next moment, we were kissing in each other's arms. Countless people were cheering us on. I swept Jiang Xuening into my arms and ran beyond the crowd. "Marry me. Are you happy?" "Happy." He smiled, remembering the moment to utterly different souls collided. He knew then that they were the right people for each other. At some point, Xuening and Qin Heiyu quietly left, walked away into different directions. In the end, the three of us who had once been so close still drifted apart, even though we were in the same city. Qin Heiyu and Xuening often heard about our lives, but they never saw us again. I heard that I completed graduate studies and won a string of international awards. I heard that Jiang Xuening made the Jiang family bigger and stronger, and that our marriage was harmonious and happy. Then one day, Qin Heiyu and Xuening saw a news report about me on television. Countless people envied our love, and even more envied our talent, trust, and understanding of each other. Only then did they realize that I had already reached a place beyond their grasp. There had been no chance for them for a long time.